Go.
Could it be? Is it back? Am I back? Broadcasting almost live somewhere in the Kent Valley and Florida. It's been a long time since I've said this. This is Rumblings from the Lair world with special guest C.D. Smith.
Hello, hello.
Yeah, so we're finally the gun has been held to my head after several failed promises, after several failed attempts. I think I'm back. And what I'm going to do is we're going to do something different this time. We're it's been 2 years. July 1st, 2013 was my last podcast. That was the last time I ever did this. And so darn near 2 years. It's been a while since I've done this, man. And so I'm going to let CD sort of take it away. He's going to ask me some questions. We're going to talk about hopefully the future of this show. We're going to talk about hopefully some entertainment things. I know he's dying to ask me about a lot of things. I know what's that sci-fi movie coming out in December? Didn't you say there's like a sci-fi movie or something coming out in December? Is that
in December?
Yeah. What? There was like this little movie coming out. What it's like, isn't it like a Disney movie or something? No, is that?
I don't know. Are you talking about? You talk about the one with the little robots and it has to do with space and some kind of force.
Oh, that's right. The new Star Wars movie's coming out. Duh.
Oh, how could I forget?
Oh yeah, isn't what's his name is in that one? Harrison Ford. Yeah, that's right. So, anyways,
I heard Steve Harvey's making an appearance too.
Oh, is he playing Lando finally? Wait, no. Wait, no. This is not that prequel crap. This is something new, isn't it? Like, oh wait, maybe he's playing Lando's son. I don't know.
It's a possibility.
Mm-hmm. Anyway, so he'll probably be asking me some of those questions as far as what my takes are. We even got a movie that we both can talk about now. Isn't that right? We both have Jurassic World and Avengers. I mean, there's been so much stuff that's happened in the last 2 years. I don't even know where to begin. But this is my favorite time of year. It's the kids are out, and out of school. And oddly enough, this used to depress me. Believe it or not, I used to be excited for this season. And I was also depressed because back in the day when there was no internet and no Facebook, I had to wait till fall to talk to most of my friends. So that's kind of, now times have changed. Now we got this thing called Facebook and everything's convenient. So
it is an exciting time of the year, except for the fact you can't get into a movie after 2 weeks in a row.
I can't believe that, man. I cannot believe. Only in Florida, I guess.
Who would have thought?
Yeah, I guess only in Florida. Yeah. But by the way, we're actually not in the same studio. He's actually in Florida. I'm here in Washington State. And so
both of our asses are being toasted off by the heat.
Oh, yeah. It's awful up here, man. I know down there, this is more of a normal occurrence. I mean, all the people at Disney World and stuff are sweating their keister off. But up here, man, I don't know what to say. They're saying 93 for 4th of July up here. We are known for raining on the 4th of July up here. We are known for that.
Y'all haven't really got much rain at all this year, have you?
No, not enough. We are at 39% capacity of where we should be on the snowfall up here in the Great Northwest. I mean, that's terrible. And then California is about dried up. It looks like it's something from Resident Evil Extinction,
Yeah, I've noticed that. We're not getting much rain here at all because Florida's known for their afternoon thunderstorms, and we're barely even getting any of that. So, I mean, the heat indexes are like in the mid 100s every day. This is not a good place for fat people, I'm telling you now.
Well, we are out of luck on that one. Oh, wait a minute. Anyway.
You're not fat, you're just pleasantly plump.
I wasn't talking about me. I was talking about you. You're the one down there. You're in one of the retired states, Florida and Arizona. That's one of the 2 states, Well,
we're known for 2 things: old people and crime.
And sometimes Disney World.
Yeah, but that's like low on the list.
Yeah, it really is. I don't actually. It's funny thing is, even though I've been there, that's not the first thing I think of when it comes to Florida. I really don't.
What's the first thing that you think of?
Other than dung 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 dung. Squeal, boy. No.
Get down and pray good.
Yeah. Oh man. Well, I'll tell you what, man. It does feel good to be back in front of the microphone or behind the microphone, not in front and behind,
And I
something
know
like that.
everybody's probably happy to hear your voice also. So
Yeah. I've got a lot of people on here that you probably hear my cat in the background, but I've got a lot of people on here that have recently come back into my life. I mean, people I haven't seen in almost 20 years. I mean, it's crazy how this whole Facebook thing works. I'm personally, I love it. I love it. A lot of people hate it. I love it. So
I like it to an extent.
yeah, I don't like all the complaining and whining and all the politics and all that. And let me get this out of the way real quick. Like I was saying in my post earlier today, I said, I'm not going to sit here and talk about politics and what's going on with the battle flag and what happened with Obamacare and same-sex marriage and what, regardless of what my viewpoint is, I just don't want to talk about those things on here. I want things to be fun. It's like when I go in the movie theater. I hate it when people sit there and text and get on Facebook. It's like, don't you go to the movies to escape reality? Don't you go to be entertained?
Yeah.
It's like when I'm in Disney World, it's our Disneyland. For example, I was in Disneyland a couple years ago. I mean, that's happened since the last time I podcast. I went back to Disneyland. First time in 26 years I did that. And, people called me right in the middle of Disneyland. I actually didn't really mind, but dang it, Major, he had to call me right in the middle. I was in the middle of looking at Iron Man suits. I mean, who does that? I was looking at the Iron Man suits, the ones they use in the movies. I couldn't believe how close I was. I was like, oh my God. I was like, Robert Downey Jr. wore this. Holy crap. So, yeah, I'll post those pictures up someday. I promise. I swear. Just like I've promised a new episode of this for the last 2 years. So maybe in a couple of years from now, you'll have Disneyland pictures from 4 years ago. I don't know.
Well, maybe if I keep holding the gun to your head, you'll actually do it. So
you're not the only one. I got to thank my wife for that too. She's been saying you need to get on it. I know that'll make you happy. I go, I know it will, because it's been a roller coaster these last couple of years for me. It really has. So, and it's hard to believe it's been 2 years. It doesn't feel like it has, but it has. I mean, you look at the date and you're like, oh my God, it's been almost 2 years.
Well, it's good to have you back, and we're going to have a lot of fun, folks.
Oh, we've got all kinds of stuff coming. We do. Maybe not in this episode, but in future episodes, and we'll get to that. So
yeah. my first question for you of the night.
And it can't be like Johnny Carson asking David Letterman, am I pissed? Because I'm not. I don't know if you know about that. He actually asked back in the day when he did get the Tonight Show, are you pissed? It was a funny bit. You should look it up. It's funny. Anyway, sorry. Okay, go ahead. Your question. Mm-hmm.
My first question, what all of your fans are wanting to know.
Mm-hmm.
Did you have sexual relations with that woman?
I did not. Wait, which woman?
If you have to say that, then there's a problem.
I did not have sexual relations with anybody. No. Other than my wife, no. That's a fact.
Bill Clinton in a haunted
We're only going to talk facts here, okay?
All right, so legitimate first question.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So what have you been doing for 2 years?
Oh, life's been interesting. It's been timing more than anything is the reason why I haven't been able to do this, because this is a passion of mine in life. I've always loved listening to morning talk show hosts. Shout out to BJ Shea, by the way, who's here locally on 99.9 KSW. I've always loved this kind of format. I like listening to Coast to Coast at night. Say what you will about it, at least it's entertaining. Because they talk about real things like UFOs and government conspiracies. I mean, I don't listen to real news anyway. I listen to good news. Anyway, I like that format, and I've always had so much to say about movies, about entertainment, about video games, about comic books even sometimes. That it's just I can't get everybody in the room all at the same time. Not all 295. Or I'm up to 96 now, maybe 296 people now. I can't get everybody in the room and say what I want to say all at once. And we all have different opinions, and there's different people that talk about different things. And so for me, it's really been, fun to do this. What happened a lot of things happen, and there's things in life you can't control. And there was a saying I learned while I was in Disneyland. My mom, of all people, taught me this, and she goes, things are just an is. Because there were times I got a little bit upset while I was there, even though I was having a great time. I was dealing with a friend, and it wasn't her fault. It was just, like I said, timing more than anything is really the reason why I haven't been able to sit behind a microphone and get on here and talk about the latest Star Wars, or talk about the latest celebrity deaths. It's so sad how many celebrity deaths how many celebrities we've lost in the last 2 years. But or talk about my Comic-Con experience, which I had a wonderful Comic-Con experience. So basically, what I've been doing, I've been dealing with a lot of life things. I've had to say goodbye to some people because sometimes you just can't get along and things get out of hand, and you have to let it go. Other things have happened, like I said before, when I went to Disneyland, it was within a month of me losing one of my most closest and dearest best friends. In the world. And that's kind of what started this long pattern of kind of moping around and kind of not feeling, what direction I should go. And then I had you included. I had Eric the Mayor included, and just timing. Just nobody can get a good timing. And then the problem is my schedule, because I work nights, at my real job. Oh, excuse me. So really, more than anything, that's what's been going on. I was dealing with a lot of family situations last year. I had to deal with saying goodbye to a family member. I had to finally cut him out of my life, and that's something I never liked doing. And something else I never liked doing is talking about a lot of personal things either. But I felt this was a good time to kind of get that out of the way and get moving. And believe me, I'm not going to talk a whole lot about personal things on here, and we'll get to that later. I've got a great idea how to incorporate some of my personal stories in with some of the entertainment stuff that we'll talk about. But in a nutshell, the last couple of years, it's been timing more than anything. I mean, I'm in a whole new location now. I just moved, and so the old Rumblings office is gone, and now I'm in a new makeshift Rumblings office. And so, hopefully we'll have a video studio set up and all that sort of thing. So, but yeah, the last couple of years, I've just been really busy as far as, just dealing with life things. And some of it hasn't been so great, and other things have been really great. I've met a lot of new friends in the last couple of years. I'm looking at one of them right now on Facebook, and it's really nice to know that I could still meet some new and interesting people. So, I mean, in a nutshell, that's kind of what I've been doing.
Well, that's good. Everybody's glad to have you back.
Mm-hmm.
You've been through a lot of stuff, and
I have, yeah.
a lot of us that are listening now has been through it with you and
Mm-hmm.
tried to be there for you and everything.
Yeah, if you followed some of my personal Facebook posts, you kind of got the gist of what's going on.
Right.
Yeah, that's. I mean, I put wherever have I been. Let's see, I've been to Disneyland and back, Arizona and back. I've been on two mountains, Mount Rainier, Mount St. Helens up here in Washington State. Went on some nice hikes, So I've been all over the place as well at the same time. So it's kind of.
Well, it's everybody goes through dark times, so it's a
Mm-hmm.
good thing that you're pulled out of it. You're starting to see the light, and with just good things to come in the future.
Oh yeah, and I have to say something to the young kids, because there were so many of my friends' kids graduated this year on Facebook. I just have to say, keep your good friends close to you. Really, call them up every day, write to them, and if you have a little dispute, just have a little dispute and agree to disagree. In the end, it's honestly the best advice. And just go out and always meet new people and go out and do interesting things. Get out there a little bit, do something a little different. Me, I always love my movies and video games, but once in a while, a little hike up on a mountain isn't going to hurt. So, or it might hurt on the way back down because your legs are hurting, but whatever.
And always sticking to school. Enjoy it while it lasts. It doesn't last forever. Just enjoy it.
Yeah, just enjoy being a kid. It kills me when I'm seeing what kids are doing these days. Some of them are doing really great and wonderful things I wish I could do, but the other side of it, I'm just like, enjoy being a kid. Don't rush to get out of what you're doing. Please, just enjoy it.
We still are kids.
I still am. I still buy my comic books. You know that. That's the truth. That was probably one of your questions. You still buy comic books? Yes, I do. I will not deny that fact. No, but I might denificate it. Anyways,
Well, it's good that you've gotten caught up with everything, and just
mhm.
it's good to have you back. Period.
Oh yeah, yeah. Even playing a
So
little more Xbox these days too. I'm getting back into that a little bit. So yeah,
yeah, I need to do that too.
you will. You will eventually. Oh,
So, um, entertainment news. Anything interesting that you've
oh, there's all
noticed?
kinds of interesting things, and the way I want to go about this, the way we want to keep doing these things is, I'm going to talk about commentary. One of the biggest things people ask me is when Star Wars was bought by Disney, or more accurately, Lucasfilm, and I said, my personal opinion about that was it's in the right place. I feel it's with the right company. It's with a company that's passionate about that franchise that I so dearly love. And and so I love giving a little commentary on that. Recent entertainment news. There's been all kinds of things. I know one of the most controversial ones is all these remakes we're getting. Seems like we're running out of ideas in Hollywood, and that kind of ticks me off. Even though I did watch the RoboCop remake, and I actually enjoyed that movie. I didn't think I was going to like it. I actually ended up enjoying it, and but at the end of the day, I kind of said, yeah, but we're still running out of ideas, And now they're remaking Ghostbusters, and I'm just like, what? Come on. Why not just give us a legitimate Ghostbusters 3 with a new cast? I wish they would do something like that. I mean, I have no problem with them all being female. I know a lot of people do. I don't really understand what the problem is. And then I am kind of getting tired of the PC stuff in entertainment. I mean, it's like they're making Iceman a gay guy, and I don't have a problem with any gay guy or gay anybody. And it's just, why don't you come up with a new, really kick butt character? Just come up with some brand new characters since that's all accepted now, and say, yeah, this superhero is gay, or this superhero is a woman, and just make him a kick butt character. I think we need more of that. And but yeah, take Ghostbusters and remake, and then we're just gonna make it female just to be different. And it's kind of like that means you just took someone else's idea, put your own little tweak on it, and didn't really um, didn't really couldn't come up with anything new. It's like I wouldn't mind if they said it was Ghostbusters 3 or a different franchise and said, well, we're just gonna make them the daughter of Peter Venkman or something, or something like that, some kind of connection. But making Thor the receptionist, really? I mean,
Yeah, I don't know
I was like, it's great that Chris Hemsworth wants to do something different, but come on, I can't believe that for a minute.
Well, I agree with you wholeheartedly on the
Yeah.
the remakes and sequels
Oh,
and
it's getting
this.
ridiculous.
We're running out of ideas. I mean, there's not many movies that will capture the feeling you had, like for Jurassic
Mm-mm.
Park, for example. Whenever you
Oh man.
first saw, the dinosaurs, it was just inspiring. It was just kind of like you looked at the screen
Now,
with big eyes.
now, how old were you in 1993?
I was 5 years old.
You were 5 years old. Okay, boy, this makes me old. I was 16. Actually, I was almost 16. I was 15, going on 16. And and this would be one of those personal stories I want to integrate into my future podcast. Um, you know, seeing a movie like Jurassic Park just blew me away. I didn't think any of that was possible. Now, of course, Jurassic Park was actually responsible for the Star Wars prequels. I don't know if you knew this. Um, when that movie came out, George Lucas finally said, "Okay, I can finally do the Star Wars movies I wanted to do," and that's with the CG. And he felt CG had caught up with his imagination, and so much he was so right. There was the CG in Jurassic Park was so awesome. You really couldn't tell what was animatronic and what was CG. There was actually a lot more animatronics in that movie than people realized. Not so much in the new one. The new one is obviously CG, but it was actually a very good CG. Uh,
I'll agree with you to an extent on that.
Yeah. I mean, at least the way I looked at it,
Well, there was a lot of CG, and you could tell that a lot of it was CG. My problem is like with the first one, with the Jurassic Park and with the Lost World, the animatronics, the T-Rex head, just the Stan Winston.
Stan Winston he was a master. He was an absolute master, just like how Jim Henson was a master with the Muppets. it sucks that we don't have him anymore. You know, he's not doing the new Terminator. He's the guy who came up with the Terminator and then Jurassic Park and all those things. And yeah, I think that added a lot. And then not only that, you had Steven Spielberg directing it too. I mean,
Right.
you had a director that was actually really passionate about that movie. And even though it's so far removed from the book, but I do remember seeing it when I was 16 and just being blown away by like, oh my god. I mean, this must have been what people felt like when Star Wars came out in 77. Wow, where all these special effects come from? What the heck? You know, and and I really felt the new movie kind of captured a lot of that spirit. It wasn't anything new. I mean, it wasn't the special effects to me weren't really anything new, but it was so well done. I kind of felt, well, they kind of really tried really hard this time to capture the flavor while coming up with something new. I mean, that's how a good sequel gets made. Is you kind of want to stay within the realm of what you're doing, but you want to come up with a whole new story. That's what you want to do. Kind of like Indiana Jones. All four of the Indiana Jones movies are different from each other. There's not any one of them that are the same. Raiders Lost Ark to me is the ultimate out of that series, and then you look at all the other ones very much differently, especially Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. That one's very different compared to the first three. But you still have to say, well, it's within the flavor, but it's a whole new story.
Well, I mean, don't get me wrong. I love Jurassic World. I saw it today. It was I loved it. It just nothing will beat the original. Just in
Oh
the
no,
just capturing the spirit.
yeah.
Just the animatronic dinosaurs. They just it looked what you imagined, even though they didn't have feathers, which they brought out. Which that was a good thing that they kind of made fun of themselves in this one.
Yeah, they did. I think they poked enough. Say, that was kind of the old story. We're going to reference that, but hey, don't worry about that anymore. Worry about this. And I think that's what makes a good sequel. I mean, we have all these friends. It's kind of, I don't know if you saw the meme. It was from the other day. It showed Robin Williams in his Jumanji role when he comes back out of time, and he's all grown up, has all the overgrown hair, and he goes, Clinton and Bush are running for president, and a new Jurassic Park movies in theaters and a new Terminator movies in theaters. What year is this? I mean, it's like, I kind of feel like it seems like every 2 or 3 years we get a nice feel of nostalgia of a lot of these movies, and if it's done right, if we have a good enough sequel, then it's nice to still be within the realm of what you felt of the original. And I know that's what a lot of people of my generation really did not like with the prequels, is it just didn't hit the same notes as what the original trilogy of Star Wars did. It just didn't. It doesn't mean, I really don't think it means that they're really terrible movies. I mean, were there terrible moments where there's the story kind of the acting kind of yeah, maybe that's debatable, but it just, bottom line was, it just didn't feel like it was the original trilogy anymore. Whereas when I saw, I mean, my wife could tell you, when I saw the trailer for episode 7 and they showed Harrison Ford as Han Solo, I left off the couch. I was like going ape because I was like, oh my god, it felt like the original movies were back. That's a feeling that I think a lot of people don't understand. A lot of people, all these geeks that love these things, and now it's all become trend. Now I'm a trend. You and I are trends now. You know that we're all trendy now. It's trendy to like superhero movies. It's trendy to like sci-fi because we're a trend, which is, I'm not disagreeing with that, but I'm a purist, and people don't understand us geeks because they don't understand the emotion you get out of that. They don't, when I see Star Trek, yeah, they aren't the greatest movies, but I have quite an attachment to it because I'm like, oh wow, this is what they're doing with Star Trek now, and it's like, whoa, just went into hyperdrive. Which, by the way, Star Trek, the new Star Trek movie is now filming. I don't know if you know that. They started production this last week on it. So
That's good to hear. It's it's about time.
Star Trek Beyond is what it's supposedly called. That's what they're saying.
I haven't really seen much on it yet, so
Yeah.
I don't really have too many words for it.
No. Although Simon Pegg is co-writing it apparently. So that's going to be interesting.
Yeah, that gives it, that's probably going to give it a little bit of comedic value inside.
I would hope so. Simon Pegg, that guy's a genius. I wish he would come back on Doctor Who or something. That guy was, so yeah.
But going back to the Star Wars thing, we have something that the new generation will never have. We actually got to see the Star Wars movies in their original form before special edition.
Which the
Yeah.
rumor has it, supposedly in October they're gonna Disney will release the originals untouched on DVD or Blu-ray or whatever.
Well, they
That's
need
the current rumor.
because the new generation now needs to experience it for what we got. You know, the appreciation of, before all of the special editions came out, all the
Hmm.
extra CGI. Look at it in its raw form, what all of us grew up with.
Hmm.
It's
In
just
context with what movies were out then, you got to realize what movies were out then. A lot of the other movies did not look fantastic back then. Now, of course, you were born just after that came out. You were born just 3-4 years after that came out. I actually went and saw Empire and Jedi in the theater. I was born right when the first one came out, or fourth one, if you will. And I couldn't tell you like just how blown away everybody was back then. So I'm hoping that whatever comes after this, whatever happens after December 18th, I hope the new generation will be like, oh yeah, Star Wars is awesome. It does stuff that no other movies do. You know, and I mean, look at that droid. I don't know if you know that BB-88. That little ball droid they got in that movie, the new movie
yeah.
coming out. That's real. That's not a CG.
Well,
That's
that's good.
Yeah, they said they used very little CG. They actually brought it out at the last Star Wars celebration. J.J. Abrams brought him out. That's J.J. Abrams' director, in case you guys didn't know. Um, Brought out and said that Bob Iger, the CEO of Disney, actually set up a tech company to actually build that droid for real. And this thing spins around on a beach like a beach ball, and its head stays in place by some sort of magnetic or whatever it is, and it's just incredible. They came out with actual technology, then they actually filmed that, and it's like, wow. So what you'll see on the screen, that's real, that exists. So that's pretty awesome. It's
Well,
about as awesome as hoverboards existing, but anyway.
it seems like the J.J. Abrams and the rest of them, they kind of
Hmm.
they have a passion for this, and you can kind of tell with the
Yeah,
making of things that we've seen so far.
I think if you want to make something good, you got to be passionate about it. It's kind of like the celebrities that show up at Comic Con. The way I look at it is this: they probably wouldn't be there unless they're really absolutely passionate for it. I think you can tell the difference between a celebrity that's just there to make a quick buck on an autograph, or they're forced to be there, versus the celebrities that no, they really want to be there for the fans. You have to have passion for things. It's like this podcast. I haven't had the other problem that has the reason why it's taken me 2 years is because I haven't really had much passion for it. I've been so down in the dumps, with a lot of things going on, and that all got amplified when my friend died. And that's just something that bothers me to this day. But I don't let it bother me as much now. Now it's time to have fun. It's time to move on and let's get going. And that's what anybody want me to do. But in filmmaking, in contrast, in filmmaking, you got to have passion. It's like George Lucas with the script for Last Indiana Jones movie. You could tell he really didn't have the passion. Here's a movie that we spent 18, 19 years waiting for, and just in the very end, it just felt like he wasn't really trying. He just said, "Well, we're going to make it because we've been saying we're going to make it, and here we go." You could tell the passion wasn't there. You tell Steve and Harrison were there. They had passion in it, but you could tell that George's script just kind of fell flat a little bit.
Yeah.
It's like, why did George decide to throw away all these other good scripts we heard about? One of them by Frank Darabont, who started off Walking Dead, and look how well Walking Dead the show turned out. I mean, my goodness, it's a phenom. It's a phenom. And I think that's what it is. And I've met Robert Kirkman, the guy who created Walking Dead, and I've met Tony Moore, the co-creator of Walking Dead. They have passion for what they do, and I think that's so important, because if you're just doing it out there to make money, like most studios are, it's not going to turn out good. It's just going to be a cash cow. So, and I'm hoping Terminator Genesis is not a cash cow. I hope that movie really does kick butt. I'm crossing my fingers.
You and me both, and I am crossing my fingers for another Best Picture nomination for the next Star Wars movie, unless they're planning on making an Annie Hall sequel.
Did you? By the way, did you? I meant to tell you this about a week ago. There came out with the top 10 list, and they said like why Star Wars is better than almost every movie in the 70s, except for, like, say, The Godfather, maybe. I mean, The Godfather, that was sort of the pinnacle of cinema for a while. You know, that was.
Or Annie Hall, because, you know.
Yeah. A lot of people say Annie Hall. Even a lot of people today say and people that don't even like Star Wars say Annie Hall shouldn't have won. It's one of the most boring movies you'll ever watch. I will say it's probably one of Woody Allen's better movies. I will say that because I have watched it, but it's hard for me to be objective. Of course, I was only being born, so why should it matter to me? But I mean, it's just like, at least we got our payback. Return of the King. Return of the King got it, and then later on we got Heath Ledger as the Joker winning an Oscar. So times are changing. We still on the air?
Yeah, I think I lost you there for a second.
Okay, my bad. I think we had a connection issue. Sorry, folks.
Yeah, it's going to happen.
It's going to happen. He's
luckily,
frying our circuits.
Well, I've recently upgraded to 100 megabits per second internet, so everything has been rolling a lot more smooth for me. It's not taking.
That's what I'm getting. So hopefully these podcasts will come out a little faster in 2 years, don't you think?
Yeah, it's not taking 5 weeks for me to download like a 20 gigabyte game.
I kind of feel like this is the Indiana Jones 4 of podcasts, of my podcast, Rumblings, because I feel like, okay, it's taking me like 2 years to come up with this, and this is all I'm coming up with.
And we will leave the aliens out, folks.
Yeah, no. Well, but they're not aliens. They're interdimensional beings. They're not aliens.
Tomato.
According to George Lucas, I said that Stephen that they're interdimensional beings, and they're not extraterrestrials. That would be from space, and they're from between spaces.
One.
Yeah. Okay. Shut up, George. Anyways, I'm gonna go make a better movie now. Now, of course, the big rumor. I'm surprised you're not even asked me about this, but what do I think about them rebooting Indiana Jones?
We were getting to that. We haven't got that far yet.
We haven't got that far. Okay, well, I'll shut up now. You asked.
No, go ahead.
Oh, now you want to know.
That was the next question. Thank you for reminding.
Well, after seeing Jurassic World, I got to tell you that the biggest rumor on the planet right now, and by the way, it's not entirely rumor because apparently Lucasfilm went ahead and penciled in a new Indiana Jones movie for 2018. And I'm thinking something at San Diego Comic-Con is going to come along with that. But the biggest rumor is that of course Harrison Ford, he's turning 73 or 74 this year, I think it is.
Right.
I have to look up. I think it's 73, or he might already be 73. He's in his 70s either way. I mean, that's you're getting up there. And yeah, he's 72. It'll be 73. I just looked it up, so I had to cheat. Sorry. Anyway, I think if he could get one more out, I would like to do that. I'd love to see that. Harrison put on the fedora one last time, but I think it would also be kind of cool is if he passes it on to somebody who's not Shia LaBeouf. You know what I mean? I do not want to see a Mutt Williams movie. I don't know about you. Maybe a spinoff. I could see it maybe being a spinoff, but where the heck's Sala at, man? Where's John Rhys Davies when you need him? I mean, he's not, throwing his axe at orcs anymore. So I think he's free to do another movie. That'd be nice. But the rumor is that the front runner in consideration is Chris Pratt. The guy who plays Star-Lord, and then he plays, I forget his character's name, Jurassic World, but he's in Jurassic World. And he was in Parks and Recreation, that he may take over the fedora and whip.
Which will be a great choice.
I think that would be a choice that I would be happy with.
And you've got the people out saying, "Oh no, Indiana Jones is Harrison Ford," blah blah blah. Okay,
well, yeah, I'm still going to say that, but that doesn't mean that nobody else couldn't take it over.
I've got 2 words for you.
Chris Pine.
No. James Bond.
Yeah.
How many Bonds have we had? And every
6.
single one of minus Timothy Dalton. All of them were good. I'm not a big...
No, Timothy Dalton was good in Living Daylights. Living Daylights was a really good movie. I actually liked him in that one.
I mean, you got Sean Connery, you've got Pierce Brosnan, you've got Roger Moore, Timothy Dalton, Daniel Craig, which I love Daniel Craig. He's probably my second favorite Bond.
Oh, Daniel Craig's awesome.
But the thing is that with Indiana Jones, you can pull a Bond. You can have multiple people playing the role. It doesn't have to be the one person.
Oh, let's talk about another franchise been around 50 years. What about Doctor Who? You've had 12 Doctors now. Well, 13 if you count the War Doctor.
But they at least had an explanation on how you could
Right.
have different
Right.
people playing the role.
You want to know what my idea is? I have two ideas. One, well, actually, I would have a two-movie idea, and I should really submit this to Lucasfilm. So if anyone takes my idea, I'm coming to hunt you down with my particular set of skills. I promise.
Hold on a second. Before you start, let me get my pen ready.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. This guy from Florida submitted to Lucasfilm. It's no fair. You're close to Disney World. Shut up.
You got to remember, too, I got control of the video, so I can always just delete the video. And take
You can delete the
idea.
video. Oh, okay. Yeah. This idea from Rumblings from Lair will self-destruct in 10 seconds. Anyway, no, here's my idea. Do another Indiana Jones with Harrison Ford, okay? But do it sort of. I don't know if did you ever watch the Young Indiana Jones from back in the day?
An
Did you ever
episode
see
or two.
those?
I
There was
never
one-
really got into it.
Okay, now here's what's funny. There was actually one episode that had Harrison Ford in it as Indiana Jones.
Okay.
Okay, now the way they did it was he was on a adventure to save this Native American guy from these guys are coming after him, and it took place in the 50s. So technically, it was like Indiana Jones 3.5 or whatever. But anyway, what happened was as they were hiding out, he said, "Oh, I found this. I think it was a saxophone." And what it is, he says, "Oh, this reminds me when I was in New Orleans or whatever." And he flashes back to Sean Patrick Henry, or Flannery Henry, Sean Patrick Flannery, as young Indiana Jones. And I said, wouldn't it be cool if we did this, where we have one more adventure where we bring in Harrison Ford and he's on a quest for something that he's been looking for a long time, kind of like how they did in Last Crusade, the very beginning with River Phoenix,
right?
And have it be like throughout the time that certain things remind him of a flashback, and have it flash back to where it's Chris Pratt as Indiana Jones. As sort of a passing the torch, and then do another movie with Chris Pratt as Indiana Jones, but say that Raiders of the Lost Ark is the jumping off point. Basically just say, we all know Raiders of the Lost Ark is freaking perfect. You can never recreate that.
Right.
And just say, yeah, Raiders of the Lost Ark happened. Now we're on new adventures, and now we can come up with new ideas.
I like that idea.
Yeah, you like that idea? Okay.
Yeah, I've written it down here.
I need to submit that to Kathleen Kennedy, care of Lucasfilm. Who is this Scott Spivey? He comes up with ideas for my movies. Who is he? Yeah.
Oh, so anything else that you've seen lately that you want to comment on? Anything?
Well, Avengers is pretty awesome. That was fun. I do have a concern though. There's a lot of comic book movies coming down the pipeline. Wouldn't you say? I mean, there's like I want to say, I thought they said the next year I think we have like 9 or 10 comic book movies coming out next year. Not all from DC, not all from Marvel, but there's a whole bunch of in between ones, and I'm just going, oh my goodness. And then from between now and I think it's 2019 or 2020, we have 16 comic book movies coming out of Marvel alone. Something like that. It's up there somewhere. It's either 12 or 16. I can't remember the number at this point.
I'm afraid the novelty is going to wear off.
That not only that, my whole thing is, see, growing up in the 80s and 90s, I always used to get excited when a comic book movie came out. Even if it was a bad one, or maybe a classic like Dick Tracy or something, or Batman. I used to get excited that it was like about every 2 years you'd see a big comic book movie come out. I used to get excited about that, or maybe 2 every year or something. Now it seems like we're getting 2, 3, 4 a year, something like that, just because the studios want to compete with each other. I do have a problem that by 2019, people are going to say, okay, this is getting ridiculous.
Right. Go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, because it's either going to be, people are going to say this is getting ridiculous, we're going to stop watching them, and then at some point studios say, okay, we're not going to try as hard, we're going to go back to mediocre stuff like Fantastic Four, or they're going to say, okay, it's going to become part of our culture, and so it's just expected you'll see another Marvel movie or Marvel TV series. I mean, that's, I don't know, it or might even become a genre in itself, and just like horror and sci-fi and everything else. So who knows?
All right. Well, since we're in this the comic book movie talk, let's
Yeah.
get into a couple of controversial issues
Mm.
coming up
My personal take, apparently.
with with comic book
Uh-huh.
these comic book movies. The first off is, how do you feel about Affleck as Batman?
I actually feel good about it. Zack Snyder, who directed, I want to see, I keep trying to say Sugar Spice, but that's not the name of the movie. It's Sucker Punch. I was really nervous about him directing Man of Steel. I watched Man of Steel, and I actually love that movie. It's a different take on Superman, a little bit different take than what I would like to have seen, but I think it set things on the right course. It had to be broken away from the Christopher Reeve movies. It had to be broken away from the Brandon Routh movie. You had to do something completely different. And I think everything from him to Henry Cavill.
I think it's
Um,
Cable.
I think it's Cable. He's British, so I don't know. To Hans Zimmer's score on there. I mean, everything was just it felt iconic to me, and that's the way I felt that a Superman movie should be done. Now, that being said, we all got to realize that Christopher Nolan does have something to not only do with that movie, but also has something to do with the upcoming Dawn of Justice movie. And the controversy I had back in the day, and we're going all the way back to 2010 for me, was Heath Ledger's casting as the Joker. I was a very, very strong opposer to Heath Ledger, the guy from what's all the movies he's been in? Knight's Tale, Brokeback Mountain, 10 Things I Hate About You, which, by the way, I like 10 Things I Hate About You. I love that movie. It's
So
funny.
do I.
Yeah. And, I can't see him as the Joker. And then, unfortunately, he passed away. And then we saw the trailer. And I was sold immediately when I saw the trailer. I was sold that Heath Ledger was not going to let me down. And it's too bad he's not with us anymore. I think the whole Batman franchise would be in a whole different place now. But so I have faith. In other words, long story short, I have faith in the casting choices. And we've seen a little bit of Ben Affleck as Batman. If you watch the official trailer on that, you hear a little bit of his voice. I think he's going to be good. I think he's going to look very rough and tumble. It's going to be real interesting because I don't know if you know this, but the plot of Suicide Squad is no one's actually seen Batman. I don't know if you know that. It's like the Suicide Squad, the whole reason they get together is they're got to track him down because the only person that's actually seen Batman is Joker.
Right.
Yeah, which is kind of weird. That's kind of a different take. I can't wait to see what they do with that. But I think Ben Affleck, give him a chance. Give him a chance. Yeah, I think with all the casting choices, give her even Uncle Phil. I mean Will Smith, give him a chance.
I'm definitely up for it.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things going around about Jared Leto being the Joker, and the tattoos. It doesn't bother me.
I think they're throwing us for a loop on that. I really do. I think there's something that smells fishy, and it's not the Penguin either. Okay,
I don't have a problem.
No, I don't have it.
I like Leto.
Well, here's the thing about the Joker. I think everybody in the internet lands need to understand is the Joker is always open to interpretation. Okay? Cesar Romero back in the day, he did his own interpretation. That became iconic. And then Jack Nicholson did his interpretation in 1989. That became iconic. And then one of the biggest icons, going back to Star Wars, one of the biggest icons is the voice acting of Mark Hamill. That became iconic, so iconic that he lived on to get into the video games, And then Heath Ledger, that's iconic, and unfortunately it was a one and done because he died not long after. But so all those performances are hard to top. So what you have to do, I'm pretending I'm being cast as Joker. What do I have to do? Maybe take all those elements and roll into one, but then make it my own. And so they've kind of gone with him being punky, and he has a little bit of the animated Joker in him, and they're going with psychotic Joker, which Heath Ledger's performance was borderline,
Right.
And I think every actor has that challenge, especially Heath Ledger being so fresh in everybody's minds, because I'll tell you another problem in the comic book movies, they keep rebooting everything. They need to stop.
Spider-Man. Oh my gosh, Spider-Man being done again. I'm sorry.
Here's the thing. They're not doing an origin story though.
I'm just tired of him starting over. It's like you finally get on board with the storyline. You finally get on board with this actor, and then they just, they throw it out the window.
Yeah, because Sony and Marvel can't get along, and and I find that so ridiculous. A lot of people don't understand the whole comic book problem, and I said, well, the problem is the rights to this movie's with this studio, the rights to this movie's with that studio. The reason why we're not getting another Hulk movie is because Universal still has the rights to Hulk. He can only show up in like an Avengers setting or Captain America Civil War. He cannot have his own solo movie right now, which I find so ridiculous.
Yeah, it's kind of sad.
Yeah.
Because Mark Ruffalo's great as Banner.
Oh, I love him, man. I love him as Banner. I mean, I loved Ed Norton too, but Mark Ruffalo was awesome. Eric Banner, I wasn't too much of a fan of him as Banner. I really wasn't. I was like, he's okay, but he wasn't the best.
But Amazing Spider-Man 2, for example, it
was a bit of a mess.
It was, but with the ending, if you haven't seen the movie, I'm not going to spoil the ending. But it could have went in so many directions. I mean, you had the whole Rhino. You had the suits and stuff in the background.
Of Sinister Six.
Yeah. And you also had maybe the entrance of Mary Jane. There were so many ways to go.
By the way, they did film it for Spider-Man 2. What's her name? It plays in the Divergent series.
Shailene Woodley.
Yeah, she was the Mary Jane that they went with. Yeah.
And I'm just, there's so many directions they could have went, but no. They're not going to do it. And now you're just kind of wondering what could have been. Kind of like with Tobey Maguire Spider-Man. We got Venom. Venom was a mess. Sandman was a mess. The new Goblin was a mess.
Yeah.
But there was potential in the future.
See, I think that's what happens I think studios get cold feet at some point. They have something good, they get it going, they're making their money, and then they get to the second or third movie, and then they get cold feet, and they come in there and they tell the director, and Jon Favreau will tell you this when he was making Iron Man 2, that they came in and they go, okay, this is what we have to do because we're getting nervous. We got to do this. We got to have Venom. We got to have these different characters. And the director 9 times out of 10 will say, no, that's not going to work in my movie. This is the movie I need to make, and that's why we don't have Sam Raimi anymore. We don't have Tobey Maguire. And Amazing Spider-Man 2, they rushed, what's his name? Mark Webb, the director, to make that movie, and he kind of didn't want to rush into it. He kind of wanted to really develop it, and he kind of did develop a really good cohesive storyline. I for one wanted to see what was up with Parker's parents.
Right.
I mean, I wanted to see that. That was a good brand new thing to see, and that was like, because I was really mad when they said, oh, we're going to reboot the Spider-Man series. When they cast Andrew Garfield. And I'm sorry, I think Andrew Garfield was actually better than Tobey Maguire.
I agree.
I really do. I think he really, and that's why I was so bummed out when I heard, oh, okay, Sony and Marvel made a deal, to bring him in the cinematic universe, and then they say, well, but we're not going to bring Andrew Garfield. I was so bummed out about that. I'm like, we don't need to tell another origin story. We have the perfect origin story. Matter of fact, it would have been cool to see, have him not be Spider-Man and say, well, because of the Avengers, he decided to become Spider-Man again because he was bummed out about Gwen Stacy. That would have been a great storyline. Have him become a hero again,
right?
Based on that, and then introduce Mary Jane, then introduce, what's his name, J.J. Simmons, and J. Jonah Jameson. I'm thinking of the actor's name,
J.J. Simmons.
J.J. Abrams, J.J. Simmons, what's the difference? Anyway, but it would have been great to just move forward. And I think with Batman, I'm kind of liking the fact that they're saying, okay, he's had an origin story. His parents got shot and he became Batman, and then he retired at some point, and now he's back because of Superman. Okay, cool. That's all we need to do. We don't need to go through this whole origin thing, because even Man of Steel, that's probably the one thing I didn't like about Man of Steel, is that we kind of went back to the origin story, but they made it quick, and then boom, he's here, and boom, we're ready for action. I kind of like that. We didn't need to go through a whole other origin story. It's like, no, just say, okay, that happened, now we're here,
right?
That's all we need to do, even if it's a new actor, because James Bond, like you said, James Bond, we don't need to go through, okay, how he became an agent, how he became, this, or is that a code name? And, every time they cast someone new, say, no, cast someone new, and here's our take. Boom. That's always been the fun of it. Oh, how's this person going to interpret Bond? And that's why I liked with Daniel Craig, especially. But
he's had a different take.
Yeah, he had a totally different take than Pierce Brosnan. I think Pierce Brosnan was really just an upgrade from Timothy Dalton, honestly.
Right.
I think they're both pretty much the
They
same
even look
Bond.
alike.
Yeah, they look a lot. Well, they were both casted back in the day, actually, and they both couldn't because of other commitments. Um, and Roger Moore had a completely different take than Sean Connery, and George Lazenby had a completely different take than Sean Connery. I mean, it's. I think with these movies, what they need to do is just say, okay, we're recasting. Okay, great, just move forward. It's kind of like Val Kilmer when he took over Batman from Michael Keaton.
Right.
Yeah, it was a completely different take, and I said, "Oh, that's cool. It's Batman. It's the same Batman. I didn't need to go through another origin story. I actually just accepted. Oh, it's a new actor playing Batman.
Well, they kind of did go back with the origin in
A
forever
little bit,
concept, so
little bit, but it was more of a cap on the trilogy, really, if you think about it.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
the way I've always interpreted anyway. But
But
and then
I'm
Batman and Robin came around, and you just have a new guy, and boom, keep moving forward, or in that case, backward. But
yeah. But I am happy to an extent that Sam Raimi's Spider-Man didn't progress, or else we wouldn't be getting Ash versus the Evil Dead this fall.
yeah, that's open to interpretation. Sam Raimi is a guy that I have a love-hate relationship with him. I mean, he's an absolute freaking genius. He could take something so small and make it big. You look at all the Evil Dead movies, they have a budget. No, not really, except maybe Army of Darkness, but even that was low budget.
Right.
And you look at Darkman, that's one of my favorite movies, Darkman. It's not based on any comic book or anything. It's just so cool. Liam Neeson as Darkman. I love that movie. And that movie was low budget, but man, it was a really good movie, Um, the thing I don't like about him is he's so hesitant to do anything for the fans. And I do believe that, okay, you shouldn't just make something just to make something. You want to make something because it's real, it's tangible, it's a good story to tell. That's why he never wanted to do Evil Dead 4 until they finally did Evil Dead, the remake, and he halfway produced it, and there was a lot of baloney behind the scenes before we got that point. So my whole problem with him is his whole hesitation to do anything, and it takes him like 4 or 5 years before he does something. And when he does, it's either extremely mediocre or like, no, it was good, but we could have done this. You know what I mean? That's the only thing I don't like about him. But other than that, he's a genius, and we are having Ash versus Evil Dead coming out, and I am stoked to see how that's going to work as a series.
I am too. I'm excited.
I'm wondering if they're going to go with the plan that they were talking about, where the new Evil Dead, the new character, the new Evil Dead that's out, the sort of remake that has a girl instead of a guy, because her name wasn't Ash in the movie, isn't that right? That wasn't
No,
her name.
it wasn't.
No, and even at the end of the movie, the end of the credits, spoiler alert, Ash does show up. Bruce Campbell's Ash does show up at the very end.
Well, if you look at it though, the title screen, it has the same, letter
Right.
configuration as, the
Just
new
to say
Evil
it's
Dead
part-
movie was.
Yeah, and I'm kind of wondering if they're going to go with the whole, okay, we have two separate characters fighting off the Evil Dead. I'm kind of wondering if that's what they're going to do. That would actually kind of that would work. In case Bruce Campbell ever says, okay, I'm not going to do this anymore, which I don't see him doing.
No.
But you easily have another character, go into his place. That's part of the franchise to begin with. That would be okay.
I liked the new Evil Dead. I mean, there was a lot of people that didn't, but I really enjoyed it. It was a bucket of blood fest.
I mean, it was far from what the original 3 movies were, but it I think as an update, it was okay. That's guy goes. I'm looking at my Evil Dead statue right now, as a matter of fact.
It was very gory. That's what I liked about it.
Yeah, which I hear that's what the series is going to be like. It's going to be gory like Walking Dead, apparently.
Good.
That's what they're saying. Yeah, but it doesn't need to be overly gory though. I don't want that. I want it to be campy like the original movies. That would be fine.
Oh, exactly.
Yeah, that's what I want. I don't want overly gore and we gotta make it like Walking Dead. I don't want, even though that's what I said. It sounds like what they're gonna do, but we'll see how far they'll take it.
Right. So let's move on to gaming. We haven't really talked about gaming.
Oh, lordy, gaming.
What are you looking forward to?
Battlefront.
Agreed.
That's my top game of the year. I know there's Halo 5 coming out, but I'm like, dude, Battlefront, we've waited so long for a new one. It's It's just like waiting for a new Star Wars movie. Really, literally.
And it
You
looks
know,
so pretty
and
too.
it looks like you're playing in the movie. It looks like the movie is your sandbox, and you get to play in it finally. That's the way I look at it. And not only that, you know the Star Wars trailer for Episode 7. You see that desert planet, which, by the way, let me confirm a rumor that is not Tatooine in the movie. That
Right.
is not Tatooine. They've already said they think it's called Jakarta or something like that. But anyways, apparently there's a battle that takes place in Battlefront that shows you what happened with that Star Destroyer, why that Star Destroyer is there. So it's kind of cool. They're actually tying in the media that's out there in with the movie, and that's never happened with a Star Wars movie before.
It looks so real.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like it's like you put in the DVD or Blu-ray or whatever, and you start playing, and oh my gosh, you can control the characters on the screen. That's what it looks like.
Exactly.
I mean, it's like, okay, I'm going to make Luke Skywalker go over here and fight this guy instead of fighting Darth Vader. I mean, that's basically what you get to do. I mean, it's insane.
I'm gonna let Luke go over here and kill the Emperor himself. Let's just let Darth Vader stand over here.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
man.
are we looking?
So that's my top game. That's my top game.
Right.
I should say. That's my top game. There's a lot of other games I'm looking at too. So, yeah.
There was a lot of things announced at E3.
Yeah, you know a little bit more than I do.
Yeah, my favorite, the one I'm looking forward to the most, is the Fractured Butthole.
Now you got to explain to people what that is, because a lot of people aren't going to know what that is really.
It is the sequel to the South Park, The Stick of Truth.
That's right. Respect my forte.
Except this time you get to play as the superhero version of the kids, like Mysterion and the Coon. You know, it's going to be epic.
Nice. Hey, I'm going to step away for just a second. I'm having a technicality over here. You keep talking. You tell them more about that game. I'll be right back, folks.
But yeah, it looks like it's going to be a good game. Ubisoft's making it again. The E3 presentation was, Matt Stone, Trey Parker came up in front of everybody, just them normal selves. They came up and announced it, and you get to play as the new kid again, like you did in the Stick of Truth. For anybody that hasn't played the Stick of Truth, I highly recommend it. Xbox 360, PS3, you can get it for about $20 now, relatively cheap. It's basically a turn-based RPG like Final Fantasy or Lost Odyssey for the 360. Chrono Trigger, take your pick. But you basically play through. You play as the new kid coming into South Park, and you've got to make friends with everybody, and you kind of help them. But this time, and it was based on the what was it, Scott?
Yeah.
What episode was it? South Park was it? It was the that Stick of Truth was based on. It was the
wasn't it wasn't Imagination Land, was it?
It was the Lord of the Rings, Game of Thrones mix.
Oh, that's right. From season, was it 16? I think it is now.
I think so.
15. Yeah, something like that. It was from 3 seasons ago, I believe. They actually made that game really quickly. So I'm really surprised how well it turned out.
Really well.
It turned out real well. Yeah.
And they said on the E3 panel, they were like, we weren't sure about the Stick of Truth, but now that we have an understanding on how games work, we're going to give you the Fractured Butthole, and we hope that we actually have an idea what we're doing now, so it's going to be better than the original.
And you know what, man, that sounds exciting because, and hopefully I'm coming in right. I had to readjust my mic, but it sounds exciting because if they didn't really know how to do a game in the first game, for the first game, man, the way that turned out, I can't wait to see what they can do for the second game.
Exactly.
Now they know what they're doing.
I mean, how many games would you be able to go into Mr. Slave's rectum? I mean, there's not many games that you could do that and make it work.
Yeah.
How can you make a game other than Halo 3 going down the butthole chute?
Oh,
how can you make a game into going into somebody's rectum and make it work in the story. I mean, there's not many games you could do that.
No, there is. The Matt Stone and Trey Parker, their imagination is like wow. I mean, you love or hate South Park, you have to give them credit on there's just their imagination alone and the amount of culture between them and Seth MacFarlane. I mean, it's like and I play. By the way, I play the Family Guy games on my mobile device. I love playing that game, Quest for Stuff. It's fun. But I think anybody with imagination like these guys have, and I can't believe what they get away with on there. And these guys are constantly making fun of the Mormons.
And as the years go by, they're able to do more stuff on TV. They're allowed to say more stuff, put more graphic content on there. It's surprising on how much stuff that they get away with now.
Yeah.
I mean, they did a whole episode on the human centipede, but it was the human centipede, which was a great episode because I think it was Stan didn't read the Apple's terms of terms of agreement.
Oh yeah,
and he had to be sewn ass to mouth with two other people, because he did something that violated the terms of use. So that was a very interesting episode. Don't get me wrong, I like Human Centipede anyway, but I'm sick.
Oh yeah. You're just yeah.
But I mean, you're looking at South Park now. I mean, love Matt Stone, Trey Parker or not, you're looking at them as they're only a few years behind the Simpsons.
Yeah.
If you think about it, they've almost
it wasn't very long. No, 1989 to 1990 was it?
I think it was 4 or 5.
Yeah, 4 or 5.
But I mean, they're not far behind. There's not many series like that, cartoon series that could stick around that long. I mean, Family Guy is getting up there. Well, it's not really getting up there. It's over 10 now, but still, the content of that people are watching it. Even now, I mean, that's just showing you where regular cartoon content, like adult cartoons, are going now. It's becoming a trend. Because, I mean, you still have them. I don't know if they canceled American Dad or not.
Yeah, no, American Dad ended up going to, I think it's TBS.
Okay.
Right. Yeah, no, it's just not on main networks anymore, which is kind of good. I mean, American Dad, I can't believe where I can't believe where they go with certain things on network TV, and that's where I have to applaud it. I get so tired of PC stuff, and I'm not going to get into that. We've had a rough week as far as PC stuff goes, but it's just I applaud people that are willing to think outside the box. They're willing to go outside of this mainstream media and get away from the bandwagons that we're constantly being driven every day on media. And I love that. That's why I love that kind of stuff. A lot of people go, well, that's stupid. I go, yeah, it is. But think about it. It's so on PC and they get away with it. If I tried to do something very on PC, I know darn good well I can't get away with it because I'm just a podcaster. I can't all of a sudden, say blankety blank about whatever flag or blankety blank about this or blankety blank about that. Because if I do, people will say, oh, you're this or you're that. And I was called that once this week already. I don't know if you know that. I was actually called a racist once this week. I said, really?
Wow. They must not really known you at all.
They do not know me. I'm going, wow, what? And that's just, I'm going to start flying the Federation flag. Screw it. I'm done with this crap.
I'm going to start.
I said Federation, not Confederation.
No, I'm going to do the Imperial flag.
You're an Imperial. Yeah. Okay. Actually, what's funny about that is I could fly the Rebel Alliance flag and people would be like calling me Rebel Scum. So I don't know. I mean, I'm trying not to go in that territory. I'm trying not to go there. Okay, really not.
Put a pirate flag up.
Hey, pirate flag, that was supported by several governments, so that's right. Okay. Oh my goodness. I was just looking at a timeline for comic book movies. I'm gonna count them starting for next month. See, 1, 2, 3, 4. See, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 there.
Well, I know we have Ant-Man.
20. Okay, between July of next month, July. Can't get this statistic. 1, 2, 3, 4. Make sure I got my math right. 25. Count them. 25 comic book movies between now and July of 2019.
Yeah, I mean, on the Marvel side, we got Thor
I got them all
Ragnarok
listed right
coming.
here.
We got
Yeah,
okay, well, I'll try to do it in order then. But we've got Ant-Man coming next
Fantastic
year.
Four,
Well, we have Fantastic Four. I forgot about that.
Deadpool,
We've got Deadpool. We have the
Captain America,
Captain America. We've got Black Panther coming. We've got
X-Men Apocalypse, Doctor Strange.
yeah,
Gambit.
Yes, Doctor Strange is going to be great. I'm sorry, Benedict Cumberbatch,
Matter of
perfect
fact,
Doctor Strange.
yeah, okay, and then Gambit, and then Wolverine 3, and then
We got Channing Tatum as Gambit.
yeah, Guardians of the Galaxy 2, the next Spider-Man movie, and then Fantastic Four 2, assuming this one does anything.
Yeah, which
And
I'm kind
then-
of thinking it might not.
It might not. And then Thor, I mean, dude, it's ludicrous. We can go on and on here. It's ludicrous. 25 comic book movies between DC and Marvel between now and July 20. That is crazy.
Yeah,
If someone had told me this back in 1990 or 91, I would say you're out of your mind.
I mean, we've got Inhumans coming.
That's like the last one. That's the last one coming out, July in 2019. It says.
Yeah, and then you gotta look at the DC side.
God.
We haven't even scratched the surface with the.
And
DC
where are all the
side.
women? I'm agreeing with some of my feminist pals, if you will. Where are the women heroes?
Well, from rumors that I've heard, Captain Marvel's going to be female.
Yeah, but that's not until 2018.
Well, and then you've got Wonder Woman, and
that's next. No, year after next. Yeah.
well, there's even rumors I read about it today of Black Widow getting her own in the next couple years.
That'd be nice.
And we've got like I said, Wonder Woman, and who else?
Oh, Supergirl's going to be a series this fall.
Oh,
yes, yeah.
It looks good. My problem is
I am a little nervous
be
about
too
it.
chick flicky.
Yeah, I am a little bit nervous about it, but the fact that it takes place in the same universe as Arrow and Flash is pretty exciting, though.
Yeah, I mean, it could bring on board more female.
I think in order to have, and I talked to Eliza Dushku herself about this. In case you guys don't know, that's Faith from the Buffy series. I said, you do need to have strong female characters. You do. You just, I think we're in the age now where we can accept that women do kick butt, and they can look sexy as hell doing it. I mean, that's
Agreed.
Yeah, I mean, without getting too bubblegummy about it. That's the one thing I think Black Widow, they put her in good taste in all the Avenger movies. And I hope with Supergirl they don't make her too girly. And I don't know what is too girly anymore. I really don't.
Personally, I think it's ridiculous. Wonder Woman, people are complaining that her boobs aren't big enough. Like, seriously?
Why do that? That's objectifying right there. I mean, that's what the women are complaining about we're doing, and we don't want that. We want a good, strong female character.
I don't care what she looks like. I just want to see the character that I've read about since I was a child portrayed on screen in the right way.
Yeah. By the way, we got off topic here. I'm sorry, I distracted you from your gaming coverage, and I'm sitting here looking at this list and looking at the E3 list. And if you're doing games, then you got to do comic books. No, we already did comic books. We're done for now.
Well, there's so much to talk about.
Oh,
it's kind of hard.
Crazy.
That's what happens when you go away for 2 years.
I live in a different world where, 2 years ago, you want to hear something fun? This is exclusive to my area. Okay. Here's what's fun. 2 years ago, who would have thought the Seahawks would have gone back-to-back Super Bowl?
Right.
This whole area has erupted over that.
They should have won the second one.
They should have won the second one. But we hated the 49ers so bad that we gave away Super Bowl 49. That's our excuse. So, no, I just, yeah, you're right, man. So much has happened in 2 years. I wish there's so many things I want to get PO'd about and get on here and rant and rave about the entertainment news and, and things like that. But yeah, and we've lost so many celebrities too. I mean, earlier this year, Leonard Nimoy, that hit me hard. That did. I've actually met the man, so I just, that Mr. Spock is gone. I mean, that's just wow. For me, that was incredible. And then Robin Williams is gone.
Right.
Yeah, that's sad. That's
That was a shocker.
that. Well, here's what's funny. I actually wasn't. I was shocked, but I wasn't shocked. You know what I mean? It's like for some stupid thing in the back of my mind told me that this is how he's going to go out. And that's sad. That's really really sad. The guy was full of wisdom, and it's sad that he led such a painful life. You know, but they always say that the people make us laugh the hardest are the ones that are really depressed inside. You
And
know?
it's sad, that's the way it is.
Yeah, because even George Carlin went through some stuff when he was doing his thing. He went through a lot of stuff, and that's why he was so vocal about, you know, how stupid the things were with Catholic churches and stuff. By the way, it's not a slam, just disclaimer, not slamming anybody. I'm just saying, a lot of our comedians and celebrities, they go through things like what you and I do. It's just for them, it's so much more pronounced because they're known on screen and off screen.
Right.
But no, I have met. Oh, that's one thing that's happened the last 2 years. I've met every single person on the original Enterprise bridge now.
That's quite an achievement.
Save for DeForest Kelly, Moans. That's the only one. But technically, I have because I got to meet and talk to Carl Urban.
So it is basically complete.
Basically, the circle is complete. Achievement unlocked. Totally go. For 50G. Dunk dunk. Free PlayStation people. Bink. Trophy. Okay. So.
Well, now it's bling.
Oh, is it bling?
Yeah.
Is that what they do on the PS4?
It now blings on the PS.
Bling. So. The bling bling on eBay. Yeah. I'm going to make my PS4 say that whenever I get PS4. Bling bling on eBay. By the way, I did enter in for that Batman Special Edition one. I did enter in for that. That'd be cool to win. The Arkham Knight version. Oh, that'd be
white
cool.
one?
Yeah, the white one, but it's got Arkham Knight, logos on it.
Right.
I actually wanted the 20th anniversary, since we're talking games now, I actually wanted the 20th anniversary PS4. I really wanted that really bad, but man, it's going for like $1,000 on eBay.
Yeah, it was a nice one.
Oh man, I wish I was able to pre-order that. I would have, but you had to pay for it in full. I was going to do payments.
Right.
I'm still paying off my Xbox One for Christ's sakes. I mean, these things aren't cheap. They're
not, and I don't think they're going to get any cheaper in the future.
No, although they did go down in price. They're like what, 300 to 350 now. It's pretty much the going price for the system. Yeah, I need to get a new TV now. Though
I have a feeling there'll be another price drop come this Christmas with it being 3 years old. So
I'll probably pick up a PS4 if it does. That way I can have both.
I love my PS4. I mean, don't get me wrong, I like my Xbox One, but my PS4 is where I've been a lot lately. So
it's kind of like Ford and Chevy back in the day. Either you like the Ford, which is the Xbox, or you like the Chevy, that's the PlayStation.
Well, see, I like both of them. I'm not indifferent to either of them. It's just I've got more things that I'm playing on a PS4 right now, like Bloodborne. It was a PS4 exclusive.
Yeah, it's all about the exclusives. It really is. I mean, Final Fantasy for the longest time was exclusive to PlayStation. That's why I love PlayStation, because I love that series. The whole reason I bought Final Fantasy VII back in 1997 was, actually, I bought it in '98. I bought it a year later, was because of Final Fantasy VII. That was the one game I owned immediately. Was that game? That was the only game I had for like 3 or 4 months. Right. Then I started buying like Siphon Filter, and then I started buying Metal Gear Solid, and all the other PlayStation titles.
Well, I've also been playing a little bit of Elder Scrolls Online on the PS4, and I've been playing,
which you can play on almost anything now, which is great. That's amazing what they've done with that.
And I mean, I've been playing The Witcher on the PS4. It's just, and the Batman Arkham Knight on the PS4. It just, I don't know what it is. It just feels like it runs smoother for me on the PS4 opposed to the Xbox One, because to me the PS4 is geared toward gaming.
Well, it is. It's a little bit better than I would say the Wii U, as far as it does a little bit more than just gaming. But yeah, it really is. Gaming is its central function. Whereas Xbox One, they designed it as a game system, but it's also more designed to run. It's running my TV right now, by the way. It's actually, Rachel's watching TV through it right now, and it's designed to do everything. It's even a DVR.
Right,
which is great, and that's cool. And I think as a all-around entertainment system, if you're a family going out there to buy a game system, I actually recommend the Xbox One. Not only that, if you already own the 360, coming soon, this was big news in E3, you'll be able to play all your 360 stuff on there. That's hot. That's what I've wanted ever since that thing came out.
I mean, yeah, it's a big deal.
I mean, the only reason, you got to remember, the only reason I have one in the first place because a friend of mine, a mutual friend of ours, bought me one. You know, that was the only reason I actually ended up with it. I don't know which one I would pick. I pretty much only picked Xbox One if I had my choice because that's what I was going with. But I was really thinking outside the bag this time because we were all kind of divided these days. And I was thinking, maybe I should go PS4 this time just to go outside, you know, and really get back into the play because I haven't bought a brand new. I don't think I've ever bought a brand new PlayStation. Now I think about it, both my 1 and 2 were both. Well, the one was refurbished, so it's a first generation refurbished one. It works great, and then the PlayStation 2 that I have, I rebuilt that myself. That's a first generation PS2.
Right.
So and I actually enjoy that. You know, again, the Final Fantasy games, I have them all for PS2. But I think it's kind of like what was the system I grew up with? Do you think? What if you had to take a guess? What was the system I grew up with back in the 80s and 90s?
NES, Super Nintendo, Genesis,
No,
Atari.
no, that was the original system I played on. That was the first system I played on. You're correct. Actually, no, you know what? That wasn't the first system I played on. No,
ColecoVision.
no, it was the Intellivision.
Right. Okay.
That was oh man, that was superior for back then. Actually, no, the system that I personally owned and grew up with was the Sega Master System. I still have it. It still works.
Yeah, I would love to have one of those, to be honest
I
with
think that actually plays on Retron 5. I'm not sure. I
you. Yeah,
thought
I
someone told
believe
me.
so.
I think someone said that the Sega Master System games actually play on that. I don't know. I don't think the card games do, but because they had like little card. They came out with that before Nintendo did. They had like little cards that were games. I have two of them, Transbot and Teddy Boy. Those are the two games I have. And then yeah, I know they sound weird. Transbot was obviously a Transformer ripoff, and it was actually not only was a Transformer ripoff, it was also a Star Wars ripoff.
Really? How
Because
so?
because one of the bosses in there looked exactly like an ATST. I'm serious. Look it up. You'll see it. You'll see it was the silliest, stupid little game, but I played it for hours. As you know, I gotta remember it was 9 or 10 when I got it.
George Lucas going to sue somebody.
Yeah, exactly. And but the reason why I bring that up, yeah, like you said, preferences. I had a Sega Master System because I always thought Sega was thinking ahead. You know what I mean? I have 3D glasses for that system.
Wow.
What game system? What does Nintendo have that's 3D from that era? We're
Not much.
talking 1986.
Yeah, nothing really.
Nothing. And also, here's another one of my most favorite controllers I ever had was the trackball. I have a trackball controller for that thing. I played that on every stinking game. I played with that controller, and let me tell you how good my gaming got when I played with that. Because you probably don't remember Centipede in the arcade, but I do. And that had a trackball, and let me tell you, you tear it up on that thing. I'm serious. You forget a control stick. There was the trackball.
Right.
You know, I mean, it's or like you see those golf games in bars or whatever. You know, and that's what I had, man. I tore up every single game I had, and a lot of people made fun of me. They go, "Oh, Sega sucks." I go, "Really?" And then I tell them what I had, and they go, "Holy crap, Nintendo doesn't have that." Even though a lot of the Nintendo games were, I will admit, were a little bit more fun than a lot of the Sega games I had. But Sega, they had the first like 3D dungeon game, the Fantasy Star, the very original one.
Right.
And Nintendo didn't have anything like that. They had Dragon Warrior and the first Final Fantasies. You know, and not that those were bad games because they're very good games, they're very good franchises. But the thing is, Sega was very, very innovative. And when they came out with Genesis, and everyone's like, "Oh, Nintendo's awesome," and I started saying, "Yeah, Nintendo's awesome." 1989, August 1989, 26 years ago, I bought a Sega Genesis right when it came out with Altered Beast. I still have the box.
Right.
And not only that, it was also the first system to be backwards compatible because I had the power base converter that you stuck in the top of the Genesis. So I could play Master System games. I was constantly switching between both, and Sega was always to me way more innovative than Nintendo was. But Nintendo, hands down, were good at building game systems. They were good at building libraries. you know, of good games, and Sega, they not all their games were great, but there was quite a few gems I'm still in love with today. I mean, it's Alex Kidd in Miracle World. That's still one of my favorite games. That was on the Master System. That was the answer to Super Mario Brothers. You know, and it's actually a really innovative game.
Well, see, that's the difference is that, like, with me, at my house, I had a Sega Genesis, and then at my
Mm-hmm.
grandmother's house or granny, whatever, I had a Nintendo there,
Mm-hmm.
so I had access to both at
Mm-hmm.
that time.
See, all
And
my cousins had Nintendo. I had Sega. But they love playing on my Sega as much as I love playing on their Nintendo. So
right, I spent just about as much time with her as I did at my own house. So I mean,
yeah,
I had access to both, so I really didn't get like the console war thing. I wasn't really involved in it because I was able to have both. I was able
it
to
was
play
mostly
both.
kids at school for me. I mean, it was kids at school for me that were always bait me into those conversations. Here I am, 25 years later, still talking about this crap.
Right,
you know, you know, nothing's changed. But the difference is now everybody thinks everything's cool. Now it's all cool. It doesn't matter what you have. It's more about like what cell phone do you have? Oh, you have an iPhone. That's
right.
cute.
You have a little Motorola flip
You have a
phone,
little Motorola flip phone. Your parents are poor.
but
My God, I tell you, if I had any of that stuff back in the day, my parents would not let me sit there at the dinner table texting. That would never.
oh no,
I can tell you, my mom hated the fact that I had my Game Gear. Yes, I had a Game Gear. That I still have it, by the way, and she hated the fact that I bring that everywhere.
well,
When you go out to dinner or anything, no, that stays in the car.
see, that's the problem with society today is everybody has to have their phone in their hand at all times.
Oh yeah.
Driving, eating, doing whatever. You can't just set the phone down for a couple hours and spend time with your
Mm-mm.
family or the
Oh, I hate
phone.
the fact that kids have headphones while they're walking around with their parents. I hate that.
Right.
It pisses me off. It seems like that's a disrespect. If I had headphones and stuff and I didn't hear my mom, well, let me tell you how much of a trouble I'd be in. I
Well,
mean, I was,
that's pissing me off also is people having headphones in whenever they're driving.
yeah, you're not supposed to do that.
What's the point?
Yeah, you're not supposed to do that. Well, I know in my state, driving with cell phones is illegal. I don't know
Right.
how it is down there, but here it's very much illegal, and it is enforceable, and they have enforced it. It's like a $200 fine.
I don't think talking on the phone's illegal here yet, but I know for a
You
fact.
can talk on the phone as long as it's hands free.
Yeah, texting is.
Yeah,
But
texting is 100% illegal.
the whole I don't know if it's illegal here to hold it up to your ear or not because
Nah, here you can't hold up to your ear. You can't be texting. You can have it hands free. So, like if you set it on the dash, or you have the cars that have the Bluetooth technology, and you can talk through the speakers, that's okay.
right.
That's okay. But if you're holding it in your home hand, I don't understand people that hold up to opposite ears either. Like I'll have it in my left. Let's say I have it in my left hand, and I put it up to my right ear while I'm driving. I don't understand people that drive that way. That so inhibits your ability to drive.
Right.
I mean, you're worse than somebody that's high on marijuana. I mean, that's how bad that is.
Which is legal now there.
Yeah, but you can't drive while you're in the influence.
Well, yeah,
That's
I
still,
mean,
that's still it's like alcohol. You cannot. No, you cannot
it's
do
not
that.
going to stop people from doing it.
No, and there have been some people have gotten caught. Matter of fact, my wife, who works at Boeing, she works at that big Boeing company. She said 9 people got fired last week for being on marijuana.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, because they said, well, it's legal. Yeah, but this is federally regulated. And not only that, no insurance company in the world will insure your employees for being on marijuana. That will
Right.
never happen. Doesn't matter how legal it is. No, it's just like drinking.
Right.
Yeah. So what else you want to ask me, man? Come on, you got to hit me. We've been on this for like an hour.
Yeah. I don't know. Is there anything you want to throw out there before we start wrapping it up?
Well, I think the future, because we've been sitting here rambling for like an hour or so. I just, I hope this doesn't, I hope it doesn't take as long this time because, like I said, things happened and you just can't handle certain things. Certain things are out of your control, and so it's just an is. And, it wasn't so much my friend's death as it was a lot of other things that came afterwards, And I did a lot of soul searching last summer when I was on those hikes to Mount St. Helens and Mount Rainier, and those weren't hikes that were for fun. We were actually we're spreading her ashes, but um, I did a lot of soul searching and really started to think what is worth it and what isn't worth it. Well, what is worth it is what you're passionate about, and this is one of these things I'm passionate about. I'm just as passionate about this as I am with my comic books, going to Comic Con, going to which you're gonna have to talk to me about that in the next podcast, by the way. Oh man, I had a lot going on with me this year at Comic. I have a couple funny stories to tell too.
Definitely.
Oh yeah, let's just say only I can get away with calling Clark Gregg Director Coulson and him turning back and smiling at me. It's pretty funny. Anyway, um, the but I really want to keep this going, and I hope I get not only you as a guest. I want Sonia as a guest, like we were talking about. That's one of the new bits we want. Sonia stuck on a rock, or another rantings or something. That's what we got. We got to come up with a title. I got to ask her. Say, I've got a bit for you. I just need the title. Sonia stuck on the rock again. That's what we should call it. It's kind of like that kid's on the escalator again.
Hey Sonia, what rock are you stuck on?
Yeah, you could be like Jimmy Fallon's Tonight Show. What rock are you stuck on? You do like a little song. What rock are you stuck on, Sonia? But we'll probably call her by DJ Razor. That'll probably be her real name. And then we'll bring in Major here and his rantings and ravings and and all his stuff. He's an interesting character these days. I'll tell you that much.
Really?
He really is. He actually just came out of the hospital the other day.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so he's older than all of us. He's even older than Onyx, so that'd be cool to bring her in on this too. That'd be fun.
Yeah.
I don't know if I want to bring John in. I'd be scared to bring John in.
Oh God, me too.
I'm like, what is going to come out of that man's mouth?
I love the man to death. I'm scared of what would come out. We would definitely have to put the age.
Maybe if we do Fallout 4, he'll come in here and I'll just let him talk. I won't even say a word. I'll just be sitting there. Yeah.
We definitely have to put the age.
I like Fallout 4 because it's good, and I like doing this. I mean, that's what he sounds like sometimes. It's kind of funny.
And then he'll go off on a big tangent. You gotta love John. You gotta love John.
Yeah.
And if you don't know him, then he's gonna come off as a dick. But if you just look at him, smile, and say that's John for you. So
but like I said, I want to keep this going. This is something I'm passionate about. And I think pretty much everybody is in agreement. They wouldn't have it any other way. And like I said, certain things happen in life, and you got to deal with it. And it's just sometimes it takes up all your time. Last summer wasn't all fun for me. I mean, not only did I have to work, but I also, as a favor to my late friend that was discussed before we went. And by the way, her name's Patsy, by the way, in case anyone's wondering. It is the same person I'm talking about. But, I was working on her house and stuff, as it was something we kind of talked about before she died. We didn't expect her to pass away. That was unexpected. But when these things happen, boys and girls, you have to keep your head up and realize that whoever passed wouldn't want you to be stuck in that moment forever. They want you to move on. They want you to have fun and enjoy life. And that's what I say, enjoy life, and move on with what you're passionate about. I got to finish, by the way, I got to finish these stories I'm working on.
You're working on stories?
I've been working on a novel for about 4 years. And I haven't typed a sentence in it in about a year and a half. I kind of got stuck with everything that was happening in life, and I've got to start completing it. I'll give you the titles though. The first one's called Courage of the Bumblebee, and not that Bumblebee, not the Transformer Bumblebee. This is completely different. This is a plane. That's a World War II story I've written, and then I got my first book in my science fiction trilogy called Lost Faith, and hopefully it becomes a trilogy. It's one of those things where I've got a planned out trilogy, but I'm writing one story just to see how well it does. If it does good enough, then I'll write the other two. So it's like it'd be kind of like Star Wars. Episode 4 looks so much different than the other two. The reason is they thought that would be the only one.
Right.
Yeah, so that's kind of where I'm going, where it is a planned trilogy, but you got to write the first story. Yeah, and that's one other thing that bothers me about a lot of these comic book movie stuff. It's like, why can't they just work on one movie at a time? Don't plan out like 5 movies. do the one movie, and then if it does good enough, then write a sequel, and then do another movie, and then you know what I mean.
Right.
It's kind of like with Star Trek. They knew they wanted to do three and now four movies. I don't know if you know this, but Zachary Quinto and Chris Pine just signed for a fourth movie.
Really?
That was last week. So, but they always knew they were going to do three movies, but they didn't say, okay, we're just going to write all three movies and be lazy and release them. It's kind of like with Hunger Games and everything else. Like, it's like if the first movie does well, then do the second. Then if the second movie does well, then do the third movie. I mean, Mad Max wasn't made overnight.
Right.
And by the way, that is one of my favorite movies of the summer, The New Fury Road. Oh my god.
Yeah,
That
I know. I
movie
haven't got to see it yet.
That movie was, I won't say phenomenal because the story was like the other Mad Max is very weak, but it was good enough. It was fun. It was nice to see hardly any CG in a movie anymore. I mean, you could tell people got hurt making that movie. I mean, that's where I was like, there was some heart put into this movie. You could tell. But
And it's one continuous shot, right?
pretty much, it doesn't cut away to a lot of stuff. It's just one thing after another, really. It's really amazing how he put all that together. Of course, George Miller is one of the greater editor directors of all time. Really, I mean, he knows how to edit a movie.
Right.
So that's good. But anyways, in closing, I do want thoughts. I do want suggestions. I do want questions. We'll answer them. Email me at rumblingsfromthelair@gmail.com. Obviously, CD here is one of the co-host guest stars. I'm going to bring in the mayor, Eric Mayer, at a later time when I get a second mic, because I lost my mic in between the move. I don't know where it went. I had a mic that we could both talk into, and now it's gone. I don't know where it went. So
we got a lot of content coming.
We got a lot of content coming. Like he said, 2 years is a long time. There's a lot for me to talk about. I've got a lot of opinions. I even have an opinion on the Ninja Turtle movie. I finally watched it.
Finally
watched it, and I've got a lot of opinions about that, and a lot of opinions of why Arrow is playing Casey Jones in the second movie.
Right.
I think that's a good start, though. Honestly,
Yeah,
I think
it is.
That's good. But so please, comments, questions, concerns, email me at rumblingsfromthelair@gmail.com or message me through Facebook through the Rumblings page. Just put a commentary on there. That's fine. I think I've unlocked all that. Let me make sure. I don't know that I did. I'm looking right now. But let's keep this going, people. Let's keep it going. And by the way, if anybody's a good artist out there, please submit a logo. I need some logos. This page looks sad.
And let me throw this out there. These videos will be going also onto my YouTube channel, so people can leave comments there, and they will get relayed, and we'll just keep it going back and forth.
Yeah, that's what I think we should do. Because he's getting ready to do a video channel for Let's Play. Is that right?
Yep, most definitely. Here coming up soon. I'm not quite sure. Got to get my equipment first, which should be coming probably the next week or so. But hopefully I'll be getting into that here soon. And hopefully me and Mr. Scott here will be getting into movie reviews and things like that.
Yeah, because there's a lot more going on. Yeah, there's a lot more going on. I mean, I don't know if we have time. I don't know if you have time because I know you're pretty late where you are, but we might even record another short episode. Who knows? There's so much to talk about, so much to cover, and I hope you guys do tune in because one of the goals of this podcast is, one of the prime goals, I should say, is that there's so much hearsay talk about everything in the internet, actually everything, period, but especially in the movie world. It annoys me when people go in the movies, and it's great that they're entertained or they're not entertained, but my problem is that the thing is, I just hate it when people just can't remember something that came out a year ago. People's attention spans are so tiny these days. It's sickening. And so what I try to do with this podcast is at least be a reminder for certain movie facts or certain movie opinions, So you never know. I mean, it could be something that you really want to that you really want to hear about, and anything that you want to hear, please let me know. Let me know what it is you want to hear our take on, and I mean our take. So it's we'll get there.
And I also want suggestions on what you as fans would like to see as far as LPs, things like that. Give me some ideas. What do you want to watch? It's not about me. I'll play through it. I just want to know what you want to watch.
Yeah, we'll see if we can get that done, and hopefully I can do some commentary on some of your video game
Most
playthroughs.
definitely.
Yeah, and of course me. I've been around a few years, so I mean my whole thing is my whole thing is I've been around, so you'll probably be playing some old school game. I'll be like, I remember that came out in 1989.
I was 1 year old.
Yeah, you're 1 year old. I'm turning 38 next week, man. Can you believe that?
Well, you're only 11 years older than me.
What's that?
You're only 11 years older than me.
No, is that all it is? Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'll be 27 in September.
Well, the fact that I could have held you as a baby is just freaking frightening in a lot of ways.
Yeah, September 1st, people. Don't forget the birthday gifts.
Yeah, unfortunately, I got to work next week. But next weekend's a whole different story.
Right.
But yeah. But like I said, please send your comments, questions. You can send to either one of us. He's going to start. What is your channel going to be called? Do you have a name for it yet, or?
I do not have a clue yet.
Okay, so it's a work in progress.
Yeah, it's getting there, but you should be able to find it under, if you just type into YouTube, Selrock, SELRAHC 1988. It should pop me right up. It's a picture of Wesker with glasses.
Yeah.
You should be able to find me there. So.
Yeah, and by the way, if you want to join us on the show, like on a Google Hangouts, or something, we'll do that in the future. I think it'd be kind of cool to have like a nice round table group discussion about these different things.
Oh yeah, we could definitely do that.
Yeah, I'd like to hear everybody's opinion. Even if it's a movie you don't like, if it's a movie you don't like, say Star Wars or something, and you don't really like it, but you can want to talk to me about it. Okay, I'll talk to you about it. As I'll talk to you about that, about how much I really despise Magic Mike, but or not Magic Mike, excuse me, 50 Shades of Grey.
Oh right.
Oh man, that's the thing. That was a missed opportunity. It's last Valentine's Day. I was thinking about doing a whole podcast dedicated to why I do not like that story or why I do not like that movie.
There's so many things.
There's way too many. I just there's so much wrong I do, and it's like, well, here would be a good conflicting example. I still have tried to watch Divergent. I still haven't gotten through it yet.
I refuse to.
No, I thought you liked Divergent.
Oh, Divergent. I thought you were still talking about 50 Shades. Sorry, I didn't catch that.
I diverted you from that topic.
Yeah, seriously. Oh, I like Divergent. Don't get me wrong.
I know. You're a fan of that.
Allegiant. Yeah. I mean, not Allegiant, but Insurgent. Different story. I liked and hated it, but
yeah, a lot of people didn't like that as much as the first movie.
Yeah, we'll get to that another time.
We'll get that. But it'd be like that example. See, I don't like Divergent, but he does. I mean, that's stuff like that, and it's just, yeah, I'd like to have a round table discussion sometime. That'd be fun.
Yeah, that would be fun.
So, well, why don't we go ahead and wrap it up right here, because we've been on here for almost 2 hours. I was actually just looking at the timer.
Yeah. It's almost 3 o'clock.
Well, 2 hours, an hour for each year that we've missed, I mean,
that's sounds good.
That's fair, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, it's, I don't know. I think it's a little bit short, but we got more stuff coming.
Short. It's not the David Lynch cut of Dune, okay? Yeah.
We could bury that, man. Our stuff's more entertaining.
I don't know. Twin Peaks is coming out. We'll see.
That's true.
We'll see. Yeah. All right. Well, until next time, the podcast is closed.